All right. Well, we're back. Welcome in. Episode number 7.
Yes, sir.
Toby's got his incense.
You already know it.
He's taking after his role model, Kyrie.
Greatest
What
guy
is
in
it?
the
What
game.
what scent is it?
It's like it's to support like
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
well it's not really a scent. I mean, I can bring the box to you. It's very complicated.
Whatever.
Forget it.
This
The
isn't the
aroma.
instant podcast.
Does it fix the aromas in the room? Does it change the energy? Do you feel a change?
Yeah, it actually does. It clears the negative energy.
Mm.
This is a different discussion for another day, but
Wow.
let's get straight to it.
Yeah, let's get right into this.
I feel like before we should get into basketball stuff, before I forget, I mean, I don't know if we're going to do another show, but the Super Bowl is next weekend, or this weekend, technically, when you're hearing this, next Sunday, or this coming Sunday. So, I mean, before we talk about basketball, I feel like we should.
Okay.
Who do you guys? I mean, what do you expect from this Super Bowl? Because I know we're a basketball podcast. I know this is a basketball show, but the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. It's like the biggest sporting event, at least in
right.
the United States, like
So
every year. So
this is what I can say to the viewers, right? Put all of your money on Tampa Bay because you can't bet against Tom Brady. I mean, we're talking about the GOAT of GOATs. Like, this is undisputed at this point.
this really might be one of the best Super Bowls of the past. I don't know how many years, because just like last year, it was obviously Mahomes was there, and it was like Mahomes versus their defense. It wasn't necessarily Mahomes versus another quarterback. And I think, well, the year before that, it was Rams, Patriots, and it was like that game was not very fun to watch. I feel like the last really good Super Bowl was like Atlanta, New England, when Tom Brady and the Patriots made that big comeback. That was like, I mean, it was obviously, as a football fan, nobody wanted to see Tom Brady win again, but like that was pretty exciting.
Was that was 2016, right?
Yeah, I think so, because that was when Matt Ryan won MVP.
Well, the
But
Eagles versus Patriots game
Eagles,
was
Patriots,
nice,
that was a good game. That was a good game.
especially as an Eagles fan.
That was fun to watch. Nick Foles.
That was
But no,
terrible to watch.
I mean, but hey, Patrick Mahomes, if he gets the job done, it really is over for the league. For the rest
I
of the
Stephen
disagree.
A. I'm pretty sure everybody probably saw what Stephen A. said. He was saying, Pat Mahomes can surpass Tom Brady as the GOAT one day, but if he
can't.
loses this Super Bowl, he'll never do it.
Oh yeah,
If he
no,
loses this Super Bowl to Tom, he can't do it.
it's really crazy.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, I do too. That was the one good take by Stephen A. I think.
No, it's crazy because like he's achieved already so much, but this Super Bowl means a lot.
hmm
Not only are you getting your second Super Bowl in 2 years, like, and I'm pretty sure he would be the first. I mean, he would be like they would be the first team to do win back-to-back Super Bowls since Brady, which is pretty weird to think about. But stopping Brady from getting his 7th ring, like, that's huge.
Can't do that.
They gotta do it. They gotta do it.
First of all, I thought the Packers were going to take it all.
Yeah, me too.
No.
But Brady he's just defeating Father Time right now. I don't understand.
I got the whole fam on the Vito's Super Bowl boxes. I bought 3. Leah got 2. My mom got 1. My grandma got 1, and my dad got 2. We have like half the board just to my family.
Oh wow! Better bet you gotta win that money then. Better win that.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right.
Well, I got good numbers. I got great numbers.
We'll see.
I'm about to flex on everybody. If I win this money on the show next week.
Well, no, we have a wager
Both of us bet. Toby and I both bet on the Bucks, right? To win.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of clowns.
I don't know. I'm a Broncos fan, just to preface this. But like I don't know who I would rather see win. Because as a Broncos fan, I just don't want to root for the Chiefs. But like I don't
As
know.
a human being, you don't want to
I
vote
feel like
for Tom
exactly.
Brady.
That's just a football fan in general. I don't want to see Tom Brady win. Like I don't know. It's weird.
No, because at this point, I'm kind of rooting for him because
Oh no.
Brady.
yeah, you have to.
Brady.
Like
That means if Brady wins the Super Bowl, that means he alone will have more rings than every other team in the league.
exactly.
Since football has like been a thing.
That's actually insane. Is that true?
Yeah. The Sixers, or not the Sixers, the Steelers, I think, have 6.
That's insane. No, that's actually insane to think about.
This is
No, that's
this
crazy.
is why that Tom Brady, LeBron James, like people were trying to
Comparison?
compare them recently. I don't think it's close, honestly.
It's just I feel like it's different. Like it's you're comparing apples to oranges at that point. Like
Yeah.
it's not a fair comparison. Like they both
I'm-
dominated the league, their respective league in different ways. They did. Like Brady won more. He has more to show, but like what LeBron did and is doing is pretty much unprecedented, and it hasn't happened since like Bill Russell in the Celtics, essentially. Like that, like this level of dominance in the league has just never happened in the modern era for LeBron. But we'll talk about LeBron and we'll talk about some others. I mean, let's talk about some basketball. We'll talk about all of this. But first, so this past Monday, the NBA, well, it was reported that the NBA and the Players Association were in talks of hosting an NBA All-Star game. Despite the league originally saying that they weren't going to have All-Star Weekend. And the preliminary talks mentioned that it would be held in Atlanta sometime this March. And the game would be a way to raise money for HBCUs and COVID-19 relief efforts, an initiative that Chris Paul, who's the president of the Players Association, has been pretty adamant about accomplishing this season. So before we talk about the All-Star game and who we think should be there, do you think that having an All-Star game in general is a good idea, given that, you know, the league has somewhat struggled to contain the virus thus far? And we all know how.
I don't see why they shouldn't hold an All-Star game.
No. Yeah, I mean, we all know how. I'm just saying, like, in terms of All-Star weekends, we know that everyone loves to go out, and I don't know if there would be fans in attendance, but like, you know, gathering all those people in one city could be problematic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because it's
like
always a huge event.
still a month away, so yeah, we
But
still
did
have a month to see how COVID's doing.
Did they
And
say there was going to be fans?
I don't think so.
I mean, there's going to be fans at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but that's in Florida. Like that's a little different. Florida, they don't.
Georgia.
They're in
I think
Atlanta.
Georgia's pretty.
It's not that far. Not that far.
Still,
I doubt they would have fans,
I don't think they will.
but I definitely think it's a
I mean,
good
there's
idea.
fans.
I
There's
mean,
fans at games now. Like a lot of teams are allowing spectators
Yeah.
to their games.
Like
But,
less
all right,
than
but
like
this is-
5,000 people.
this is in like Atlanta. I don't know if the Hawks have any fans right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Who has? I have to look that up, but yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
it is what it is.
Shouldn't be too big of a problem. A couple days before the game to do some, heavy testing, make players quarantine.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too big of a problem, I don't think. The only thing about it is it's like, you're getting a lot of people from a lot of different teams all in one place. Like with a normal game, it's just 2 teams playing against each other. You could figure out the COVID tracing and shit like that. Ooh, my bad. But yeah, if it's 3 or 4 guys from every team, like it's not there might be a problem with that, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Well, I feel like the All-Star break would be a great sort of like a great place in the season to have a whole break, like maybe extend it. How we were talking about they should have like a 2-week break or so.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a great opportunity to do so while raising money for, all these causes that Chris Paul put forth. I
Yeah.
feel like if you could do it in a safe enough way, then why not?
Hmm.
I mean, I think they could pull it off. It's just a matter of allowing teams,
They got to be
Oh.
safe with it. They
Or-
safe and they got to be smart.
fans and stuff. I don't know, I have to remember, like, I think the teams that have like dealt with the most COVID issues, because some teams, I don't remember exactly who, they're like allowing fans to sit courtside, which is crazy to think about because it's just like, why do you want people so close to the athletes? But the teams that like are allowing that are the ones that are dealing with the most COVID issues early on in the season. I'm like, hey, makes sense.
There you go.
So
Proof
I
is
think
in
they
the
could
pudding.
they could do it. I think they could pull it off, but only time will tell. We'll see.
I really hope so.
I would like to see an All-Star game. I mean, it would be fun to watch. It's just I don't know how safe it would be.
I feel like it's going to happen because NBA, when they say they're going to do something, at least in
They-
recent years,
They do anything they can to do it.
exactly.
I don't think they should do a dunk contest or a 3-point thing or anything like that. Just the All-Star game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
At least-
probably won't do that. They'll probably just do the All-Star game if they end up doing the All-Star weekend.
And I hope we get another All-Star game like last year.
Yeah, that was good. That was a great game.
I was like the most competitive it's ever been, like in so long.
It was great.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is it like scares me. It's like players getting hurt. Like imagine getting hurt in the All-Star game.
That's on you.
Like a bad injury, like a like an ACL tear or something. Like that sucks.
It sucks to suck.
Oh man.
Damn.
Kobe's just a Debbie Downer. Well, let's talk about
Because they won't go going hard in
Oh.
the fourth quarter.
Hmm?
I said, like, they're not going to be going hard until the fourth quarter.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does get intense though.
Mm.
But let's talk about some All-Stars though. Now that we got kind of talked about the game itself, let's talk about some players that we think would, regardless of whether the league plays an All-Star game this season, the NBA will have All-Star voting. And in fact, the NBA announced on Wednesday of this week, or this past week really, that the voting started at on Thursday, January 28th, and will continue until February 16th. And the starters will be announced on February 18th, and reserves on February 23rd. And 50% of the voting pool, I guess, goes to fans, and then 25 and 25 for media and players. And then the reserves are voted by coaches. But we're just going to talk mainly about the starters and, whoever else you think is, on the fringe of that. So in terms of the Eastern Conference All-Stars, who do you guys think should be the starting lineup for the East this, just based on play through like a month or so?
I'll start out this one.
There's
So
probably going to be a lot of consensus. I'm sure we probably
yeah, that's what I thought.
I
So
saw what you had, Jorie. I am not consensing with that at all.
All right.
Your list was whack.
We'll talk about it. Okay. No, Toby, go ahead, I guess.
all right. So first guard position for the East, I got Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Honestly,
All right.
first of all, I think the only player that's competing with that spot is probably Trae Young. And
Okay.
and I think I don't know. I think Kyrie Irving has utilizes his, street ball skills, I would say. He's much more aesthetically pleasing, if you will.
Oh man. Then who?
What? What, Toby?
Well, do you know what I'm trying to say?
You said Kyrie is aesthetically
So
pleasing.
that's why you want him to be in the All-Star game, because his game is fun to watch. Is that why? That's
Well,
why
that's
he's more deserving, not because of production or anything like that. But
okay. Well, he's first of all, he is more productive if you look at the stats. I think like half of Trae Young's points come from the free throw line.
yeah.
And he's just a better player. He's just a great person.
So you don't even so. All right. Well, then, who's your other backcourt player? Because obviously there would be two.
Right. And this is a player that I think we should all have.
Oh God. If you
At the 2 spot.
go ahead. If you say who I think
I said it deserves to go to Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
And
I agree.
Justin may not agree with that because he's been hating on that guy, but he's only getting better as the season's going on. Like we thought he was good, he's only getting better. He's averaging 27 right now. Plays really high. Plays really good defense. And honestly, there's not too many other there's Bradley Beal. There's, a couple other guys I might want to replace him with, but he's more efficient than Bradley Beal. He plays better defense, and he's a mid-range assassin. Like simple as that. He's like one of the best mid-range shooters I've seen in the league. So that's who I got at number 2 guard.
Yeah, I agree. Jaylen Brown. I have him as my only lock necessarily. I'm still on the fence with Kyrie in the backcourt, at least. I think he's the most deserving backcourt player in the Eastern Conference in terms of all-star voting. I mean, he's averaging a career high 27.1 points, shooting 52% from the field, 44% from three on 6 attempts per game, which is just insane. He's already had 2 40-point games this season. He had a game where he scored 33 in less than 20 minutes against the Cavs.
I read a stat. He put up the most amount of points by any player since I think the 3-point arc was introduced in the mid-'80s in less than 20 minutes. The most points in less than 20 minutes since like the 80s.
His ascension to like this level of play is actually insane. Like, because when he was drafted, nobody could have seen this coming. Everyone saw him as like a slasher, like really inefficient, like probably defense first. Definitely not a guy that would be able to score even like 20 a game in the NBA. And now he's literally averaging 27. And it's insane. Like I don't even know what more you can say. The Celtics with him and Jason Tatum,
he might be better than Tatum.
Like those two, I mean, he might be, but like that's like whether whoever's better, I feel like it doesn't even matter. Like they're both great players. Like Tatum in his own right, he's averaging I think 26.5 this season. He obviously missed a few games because of COVID, but like those two, like we were watching we were watching the Lakers Celtics game last night. Like I'm pretty sure they combined for like 58 points. Like those two are just crazy. That duo for the next like 10 years, they're just set. Those two are incredible.
But I want to ask you a quick question.
All right, go ahead.
I'm curious as to why you and Justin are both doubtful for Kyrie Irving start.
I don't even think he should be in the game.
Wow.
I don't think him or Tatum should even be in the game.
It's not
Why
even
not
that
Kyrie?
It's really not even that I don't think Kyrie is deserving, because I like Kyrie and I think he's gonna get it. Like I do think that's gonna be the pick. Like if I were to predict who's gonna be starting, it's probably gonna be Kyrie. But like I feel like people are just disrespecting Bradley Beal. That's who I think it should go to.
I don't think he deserves the starting spot though.
Everyone says, "Oh, his team is so bad," but like literally, yeah, his team.
Bradley, he's leading the league in scoring.
Like,
he's leading the league in scoring. If he's not a starter, it's a damn shame. Damn shame.
You know his starting lineup before Russell Westbrook came back. Do you know who they were starting? Jordan Bell, Isaac Bonga, Raul Neto, and Robin Lopez. That was his starting lineup with the Wizards. So it only gets worse from there when the bench comes in. Think about that. Like, what are we saying? How do you work? Like, how do you win games? Like, he's getting blamed because he's not doing enough.
Everybody knows that
don't
he has
understand.
no help. Like, nobody's saying that Bradley Beal should be carrying this team to win.
But
I think we could all agree that Beal needs to get the hell out of Washington and go to an actual contending team.
Like the Knicks, like the New York Knicks.
But the reason I didn't say he should be a starter, and by the way, I picked this list off of who I thought was going to be starters, is because like after scoring pretty much, and there's much more efficient scorers than Bradley Beal. Well, not much more, but like if you look at every other stat category, it's not really that eye-opening. You know what I mean?
If he were to play with someone like a Kevin Durant, I mean, we would be.
He wouldn't be scoring as much.
He would. Okay, he probably wouldn't lead the league in scoring, but like he would probably be considered like top 2 shooting guard in the league, probably behind Harden. I mean, he basically is that already, but like,
You think top 2?
I mean, who's better?
He's the best shooting guard in the league behind Harden.
Who's better?
Well,
Devin Booker.
I don't even know
hasn't
if I
been
would
playing
consider.
that. Devin Booker hasn't been playing that well this season.
I was gonna say
Klay
I
Thompson
wouldn't.
is injured. Zach LaVine is like the same thing as Beal, but not. He's not scoring as much.
I like Jaylen Brown better.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say Jaylen Brown.
In this season, and we're not just talking about shooting guards. We're talking about guards in general.
Guards in general. I mean, I wouldn't
'cause
pick him top 2 guard, like just straight up guard. But I'm saying Bradley Beal, I feel like he's just getting disrespected.
He is. He
He's
got
taking
snubbed
way-
last year.
Yeah, the
He got
fact that he
snubbed
didn't
last
even
year.
make it last year was just crazy. But like,
And he was second in the league in scoring last year.
yeah, I don't know. He needs. I don't know.
Well, Toby, you said you made your list based off of who you thought would be an all-star?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I actually voted today, and I did it based off of who I thought should be an all-star. So I didn't vote for these starters. I basically just voted like guys who are gonna make the bench as starters. But the Eastern locks, KD, Embiid, Beal, Trae Young, and Giannis. Those are the starters. Kyrie can't start because he hasn't played enough games. And Jaylen Brown just is not better than Bradley Beal, so Bradley Beal's starting. But on the bench, Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, obviously. Julius Randle, my boy. He's one of 4 players along with Domantas Sabonis, who I also voted for, who are averaging 20, 10, and 5. One of 4 players to do that right now. Colin Sexton, just because he's a dog. Zach LaVine, because he's playing just as good as Bradley Beal. Jeremy Grant, because he is the most improved player.
He won't.
And I kind of just threw in Bam just because I figured Jorie would destroy me if I didn't have Bam in there.
I mean,
somewhere.
I probably wouldn't even. I totally forgot about Bam, if we're being 100% honest.
Wait, Justin.
But
I may have missed it. But did you choose Julius Randle?
I made him a starter in the East. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I voted him as a starter. As
I
well.
thought you.
That's the thing with like voting, is that we can, like, as fans, we can only vote for starters. So like, you have to get your, like, if you're gonna vote for your guy, like,
yeah,
he probably doesn't deserve to be a starter, but like, you're gonna vote for him because that's your guy. Like,
I mean, the only reason he's not starting is because Giannis and KD.
If we're being honest, like Kevin Durant, Embiid, and Giannis, if those 3 are not the starting like front court, then the league
Somebody did something
on
wrong.
drugs.
Yeah, somebody did something wrong.
Because Kevin
There
Durant,
would be nobody else that would replace them.
KD is averaging the most points of his career since his MVP season in 2014, and that's coming off his Achilles injury, obviously, 18 months. Second most assists of his career. I mean, he has to be locked in. He's probably just
also-
the captain of the East. Like, if they have the
Yeah.
captains, like he should probably be the captain. Like he's probably
Give it to
playing the best
KD.
piece in the Eastern Conference. Maybe him or Embiid, depending on the voting turns out. But
How many players are on each team? Is it 12?
yeah, I think it's 12, 5 starters, obviously, and then 7 reserves for each conference. I think so. 12.
All right, yeah. I think I got a pretty solid list.
Yeah.
If my list isn't the list, I need to start.
Ooh. Well, I'm thinking about it now, and I noticed a couple players that you left out.
Let me hear it. Who do you think I left out?
So this is sort of. I mean, I'll save it for later actually, because we're gonna talk about this later anyways.
Okay.
Snubs. Should we go to the Western Conference and look at the Western
Yeah.
Conference starters?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. I mean, I'll just go down my list. I feel like the Western Conference is pretty. I mean, LeBron's starting. He's probably gonna be the captain. Jokic. I mean, if you don't pick Jokic, I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, even I picked Jokic.
Like, you can't not pick that guy. He just had a career high today, 47 against the Jazz.
You know what? No, I'll let you finish.
And then I said Kawhi or Paul George. Like, one of those two is gonna be a starter. Like, it's just, I don't know. I can't. I mean, their numbers are just exactly the same. I'm pretty sure since the Jazz lost today, then the Clippers are the top seed in the West. So, like, one of them is going to be a starter. I would probably say
That loss ended a 12-game win streak.
for the Jazz.
Jazz, yeah.
11.
They were on a 12-game. They were on 11. I thought it was 12.
Yeah. But yeah, Kawhi. I would say Kawhi is probably going to get the start over Paul George just because it's Kawhi. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't really go wrong giving it to one of those two. And then Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is the one guard that I think is a lock for the West. I think he had like 44 the other day against the Bulls. He's third in the league in scoring. He's averaging 7 assists per game. He's really just, I mean, they're dealing with so many injuries, and he's just like keeping them afloat. So I feel like he's got to be a starter. He's never been a starter in his career for the All-Star game. Just kind of
Really, that's crazy.
never started an All-Star game.
I believe it.
I mean, he's played behind Stephen Curry, James Harden, and then Luka showed up last year. I think he was a starter last year over Dame. So, yeah.
Westbrook.
Exactly. Like, he's just.
Oh, wait, yeah. I mean, speaking of James Harden, none of us put him as a player for the Heat.
I said he would be like on the fence. I think he's going to be an all-star. I don't think he's a starter just because
I don't think he's going to be an all-star.
Really?
Why would he not be an all-star? Just because he got traded?
Well, yeah, that's one reason. He's only played like 8 or 9 games for the Nets.
That's crazy. You don't think he's going to be an all-star?
No, I don't. Like, I think he's so different. He's one of the best players in the league without a doubt. But just because he's switching
there's no way. Because every time there's teams like that, even if it's like a matter of games, like when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh played in Miami, like they were always all-stars. Like when Clay, KD, and Steph were all on the Warriors, they were always all-stars. Like they're just gonna let it. Like they're just gonna give it to him because it's Harden. Like
I think it's just different.
You're not gonna have. You can't not have Harden in the All-Star game.
I don't know. I don't think he'll be a starter. Throw him on the bench.
Yeah, he probably won't start. Certainly be the reserve.
Wait, so who did you say your last guard? You only had named one guard for the West.
Yeah, you only had Dame as the only starter lock.
I said really not Steph.
I said it's either Steph or Luka, but I probably would give it to Steph. If I had to pick, I would probably choose Curry.
Yeah, I don't think Luka will start. He hasn't been as efficient at all.
But I feel like Luka is getting kind of screwed because everyone's like asking like, "What's wrong with Luca? What's wrong with Luca?" But like literally, half his team is like either out with COVID or injured. Like,
Yeah, but he's such a rager. Like he's always raging at the refs.
he's. I feel like he's not. I don't know. Everyone's like, "What's wrong with the Mavericks?" And I'm like, "Well, half their team is out, so you can't really blame him." Like, I don't know. But yeah, I would probably give it to Steph. I think Steph and Dame are probably going to be the backcourt in the West.
I agree with your list.
Uh,
I'm gonna hear what Dustin has to say though.
I have Dame and Curry, LeBron and Jokic, and then Luca or Kawhi.
is Luka
Because
forward? Is he like?
oh well, yeah, that I forgot. Luca is classified as a guard, so I guess Kawhi. Then I was gonna say either Luca or Kawhi because Kawhi and PG like they both contribute equally to the Clippers' success. Like obviously Kawhi's like better, but you wouldn't be able to tell from the stats. So that's why I didn't know which one to put in there. But on the bench, I got Zion, PG, Brandon Ingram, AD, Donovan Mitchell, and Rudy Gobert.
I don't think to on the Pelicans, like I don't think Zion and Ingram are gonna make it. I only think one of them will make it. I don't
You
know.
only think one will make
I
it?
agree. No, I agree with that.
I don't think they're gonna send two players from the Pelicans.
Why? Just because they're so bad?
I think. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they're probably gonna give it to Zion.
Nah, they can't. They can't. If they have to give it to either one, they got to give it to Bi.
I mean,
If they
Zion.
give it to Zion, that's disrespectful.
I feel like I know I've been hating on Zion a little bit, but I feel like I didn't even realize this. I'm pretty sure that he's played like I'm pretty sure that I heard this somewhere that he'd played less games in the NBA than he did in college, like so far. And like think about that. He got drafted in 2019, right? So he played more games at Duke than he has in the NBA. Like think about that. Like that's honestly crazy to think about considering that and I'm pretty sure another stat was that he's like through 30 some games, like he's the highest field goal percentage in NBA history. He's like the most efficient shooter in like of all time through like this.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a force.
Also, I think I read somewhere in his first NBA game, he dropped 4 3-pointers.
Mhm.
And then since then, he's only made
Oh
2.
yeah, I saw that too because they were mentioning that.
I remember that.
During the I don't remember who they played recently, but he hit a 3 and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's like his second 3 since like his first game or something." I was like, "What? That's crazy." Yeah. Is there I feel like we already went through everything in that sense. So I guess
Well,
we can move on to like, oh, did you go? Toby?
No, I was gonna say I did notice a few snubs that you guys didn't mention. That
Yeah, that's we're gonna get into next. So just we already went through starters. I feel like probably would have made sense to go over reserves, but like who do you think is gonna get snubbed from the All-Star game this season?
all right. I'll give you 4 players
Because I have
that if these 4 players are not in the All-Star game, I'm pissed. Okay. So first up, we got Christian Wood.
He's not making it.
he's definitely
He
not.
deserves it. He deserves it, bro. Look at his numbers. He's a 2010 machine. He needs to be in the All-Star game. Number 2, I got Julius Randle. Dude's been playing out of his mind. If he doesn't make the All-Star game this year, then it's something rigged. Okay.
Hates the Knicks.
And number 3, I got Gordon Hayward.
I said
Now
him
hear me
too.
out.
No, I said him too. I said he's definitely gonna get snubbed, I think.
I mean, when I watch these Hornets games, which I watch a lot because I like their team, he's clear cut like the man on that team. Like that's his team,
Mhm.
and he's putting up buckets in an efficient manner. I think he deserves it.
He's only been an All-Star one time in his career. Just kind
Well,
of
he wasn't really
think
he
about.
wasn't doing much in Boston.
I feel like he got
That's 'cause he
such a
got
bad
injured.
rap in Boston. Like, yeah, it was the injury and the coming back, and then obviously by then Tatum and Brown had like ascended to stardom. So
Yeah.
He had a way smaller role though.
and then Kemba showed up, so it was just like, yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, when he signed that big contract in the offseason with the Hornets, everyone was like clowning the Hornets, like, oh, what a terrible contract. Really, Gordon Hayward, like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
This guy was like good. Like he was actually a all-star level player before he got hurt, and then went to play with like 3 players of his caliber, if not better than him. So like he's gonna do good on the Hornets. Like now that
He
he's
deserves to be an all-star. I mean, I know there's not a lot of spots, but
23 points this season. I think that's a career high for him. So he's definitely been balling out. Shout out Gordon Hayward. But 2 players that I said that I think are gonna get snubbed: Colin Sexton and Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, Colin Sexton has been just carrying the Cavs offense, it feels like at times.
literally beat the Nets by himself.
He's just a bucket from everywhere. I love his game. Cavs got a nice one in him. And then Malcolm Brogdon, who I mentioned on an earlier show, I think I said that he's just gonna go. He's gonna be one of those guys that we look back on at the end of his career and just be like, "Wow, he was really good, but never really got any kind of recognition." And I feel like that's just it's
He's
what's
not an all-star.
I
I mean, if all right, listen,
his
if you say Brogdon deserves an all-star spot and Christian Wood doesn't, then I don't know.
It's also
I don't know.
It's also Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. I mean, Brogdon, he's averaging 22.7 points per game and 7.2 assists on an Indiana team. I don't know their record right now, but like on a good playoff team, next to Sabonis, who is an all-star in his own right. Like he's getting his own next to an all-star. So I feel like he deserves a spot, but probably won't get one. And then I said either Zion or Brandon Ingram are probably going to get snubbed as well. But I already said that. Do you have any, Justin?
Zach LaVine is going to get snubbed.
Yeah, probably.
I think Beal is going to get snubbed of his starting position. That if there's anybody that should be a starter outside of Kevin Durant, I think it's Bradley Beal. I don't think anybody else besides those 2 deserve a starting job more than them.
Really? I'm
Crazy.
telling you,
Out of even in the West,
Brown.
I don't think either anybody else is.
That's a cold take. In the West too, you're saying that
No.
Jokic is not
Even in the West, yeah.
LeBron and Jokic are not more deserving of a spot. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's
If you lead the league in scoring, you need to be a starter in the All-Star game.
I don't think you
No
understand.
matter what team or position you play it.
he might have.
Even if your team is the worst team in the league, if you're leading the league in scoring, you need to be a starter.
There was a stat on the broadcast today with the Nuggets game that Jokic, to start a season, has recorded 20 double-doubles, which is the second most in NBA history, behind Bill Walton during the 1976-77 season. So Jokic is – you're telling me that guy is not more deserving of a spot than Bradley Beal?
Nope.
LeBron, who's been – everyone said he was going to take his foot off the gas this season after, going through the bubble and then playing all through the finals. He's been literally just as good, if not.
You know what's funny, though? He did take his foot off the gas, and he's still putting up numbers like that. You could see it in his play. Like, he's just out there like, yeah, whatever.
His stats have gotten lower.
Barely.
I mean, I was telling Justin, like, I feel like that's just because they now have more options. Same thing with Anthony Davis. Like, his numbers took a hit, and everyone's like, "Oh, what happened to AD?" It's just like he probably just doesn't have to do as much now that he has Schroeder, Montrez. They have players that can like put the ball in the basket themselves. They don't have to create all that offense.
To be honest, I haven't watched too many Lakers games, so I don't know.
I've watched a few. I mean, they just look unbeatable. The Lakers are just their team is so weird because it's like they're like an older team. Like they have a bunch of veterans that are like old, and everyone thinks they would be like a slow paced team, but they're like they run in transition like better than like anyone. Like their transition is just unbeatable. And then they can obviously score in the half court because they have LeBron, like the best half court. I mean, he just can facilitate an offense just as good as about anyone in the league. And then you have AD who can score anywhere on the floor. Like their offense, like their team is just insane. And then they have now a depth, unlike the Nets.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, we're getting there though. So don't sleep on
Iman,
us.
you got Iman.
Hey, it's a
Shout out
nice pickup.
Iman Shumpert.
We got Norvel Pell. And we're gonna get Andre Drummond, and we're gonna be lit.
You gotta get JaVale.
You'll never get Andre.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get Drummond, but you can get JaVale.
Not bad. Okay, he's a champ.
A champ. Yeah. All right. Is that all the All-Star talk you guys have? Do you have any more snubs or anything?
Man, just yeah. I agree Sexton might get snubbed. Jeremy Grant deserves it, but he won't get one. If they give Bam an all-star position, honestly, I'll be really surprised.
Bam, I don't. Why? Bam has been incredible.
Just because there's better players that could.
I feel
play
like
his position.
before we move on, I feel like the Heat are just. Everyone is saying the Heat are going to regress this season. I feel like the Heat. I mean, dude, the Heat could get back to the finals.
I mean, what's his face? Jimmy Butler just came
That's what I'm
back
saying.
last night.
Like they haven't had their team like at all, and Jimmy Butler just came back. Like, and Bam has elevated his game.
Well, when
so
he
much.
was playing like trash.
He was probably hurt.
When he was playing like trash. He was only averaging like 8 a game for the first couple games of the season.
Probably hurt, and he's coming off like we have to remember like that's a team that has had the shortest offseason. In the league, like with the Lakers because of the finals. So like they're probably gonna have a
but they got
start.
the best conditioning program in the league.
I'm telling you though, like that team could upset the Nets. They can obviously beat the Bucks. Sixers might be tough, but I think they could do it. Like they just match up so well, like with pretty much anyone in the East. And
despite what Anthony Davis said, I think the Sixers are still the favorites to come out of the East.
What did AD say? The Nets?
He said it's the Nets now that they have James Harden.
Yeah.
You guys will catch up one day.
I mean, I'm not saying like I'm not locking in the Heat as a finals pick from the East, but I'm just saying like it's definitely possible, and a lot of people are sleeping on the Heat.
Oh yeah.
Just wait till they get healthy.
I sure ain't.
I'm telling you, Bam is just different. He's really different.
He's
like he can score like on his own now. Like he really can. Like not only like we saw him kind of grow as someone who can like facilitate last year, like he can get his own shot. Like he's a shot creator now as a center. And he's like one of the best defensive players in the league. And he's like 23 or 24. Like, come on.
That's not
He's only going to get better, man.
He did score 41 against the Nets, so.
Yeah, because you guys don't have any big men.
Yeah, true.
All right. So let's move on to the topic that you two wanted to talk about, I guess, so I sent a tweet to our group chat about a week ago, I guess, and it suggested that we should normalize sending high draft picks to the G League. Well, I guess let me start with this, actually. So the G League Ignite, which is a team comprised of some of the top prospects in the 2021 draft, such as Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, will make their season debut against the Santa Cruz Warriors, a team led by former NBA guard Jeremy Lin, on February 10th. So all 15 of their games will be broadcasted on some kind of ESPN platform, And all 18 G League teams will compete at the ESPN Wildwater Sports Complex in Walt Disney, so the NBA bubble where they just played, for a 4-week event that includes a regular and postseason. And, I just mentioned, I sent a tweet to our group chat that we have that was basically saying we should normalize sending draft picks to the G League for developmental purposes, at the beginning of their career. And we have to stop saying that getting sent down to the G League is like a bad thing. But you guys disagreed. So tell me why you think that you don't agree with it.
All right, I'll give my opinion first. So if you specifically mentioned high draft picks,
Yeah.
all right. So if I'm a top 10, top 15 draft pick,
Mm-hmm.
the team that drafted me, right, they're obviously a struggling team if they have a top draft pick.
All right. Okay.
So if you draft a guy that is supposedly supposed to be good and is not NBA ready for your team, that is not a good draft pick. We should not normalize this. We should actually discourage this.
Discourage sending players to the G League?
Not all right. Let me take that back. Discourage it. But like we shouldn't normalize seeing like a Ja Morant or a Zion Williamson start their career in the G League.
Here's my
And
thing.
then
All right, no, go ahead. No, I want you to finish actually, because you were.
all right, so another thing I wanted to mention is if you're not like NBA ready, then what's a better way of preparing yourself than playing in actual NBA games?
Okay.
Right?
No,
All right,
I think
Justin. Yeah, you go, Justin.
I think it's situational because if I agree with what Toby said, if I'm a team like in just any bad team, I'm drafting somebody who's going to help my team immediately. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, let's draft some guy on his purely on his bench. We'll send him down to the G League for a year or two and see what he's about. I'm going to draft somebody who's like, yeah, he's starting or is a top 6 or 7 guy in the rotation because we need him. We suck. But if I'm somebody like Romeo Langford, I think you had him on the rundown, Jorie. That was a perfect example.
Yep.
A solid guy who just got drafted to the Celtics and got no playing time. Why would he want to keep sitting on the bench and not playing when he can go to the G League team and put up, 20 points a game and really learn how, he can use his game in the NBA? Because whether you like it or not, Toby, the G League players aren't like G League players are better than the top college players. Like,
oh, I know that.
Like just any starter on a G League team is going to be better than 90% of every player in college.
I know that.
So if I'm a guy like Romeo Langford, I'm like, yeah, sweet, I'm on the Celtics, but I don't play more than 2 minutes in a game. Let me just go to the G League and show these guys who's boss. And then maybe the Celtics bring me up and I get some playing time because they know I can put up points.
Or maybe if they wait till next year's draft, there will be a player that
they can't just give away their pick. Like, what are they doing with the pick that they have in this year's draft?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they choose somebody better than Romeo Langford, then
he's not a bad player, though. He's just on a team where he gets no playing time because there's better players at his position on the team.
All right, but what pick was Romeo Langford? Like,
I think 13, 14, 15.
Definitely a lottery pick.
All right, then yeah, that's not a good pick.
What do you mean, though?
Why?
He's a good player. He just went to a bad situation.
Then
the
why don't
the Celtics did a good job by drafting him at that position. He could have went higher.
All right, no, here, let me, because I have a few players. I have a few players. Like, there's definitely players that could benefit from playing in the G League, lottery picks for that matter. Someone like Onyeka Okongwu, who was drafted to the Atlanta Hawks this season. You're
like,
telling me
a top 5 pick. He was
he
like
was
the 5th pick.
drafted number 6, I believe, to the Hawks this year. He has to play behind Clint Capella and John Collins. You're telling me he couldn't develop in the G League? I mean, they're not playing him whatsoever, and he was like a top 10 pick.
All right,
Another
well, then-
player like that, Jackson Hayes, who was drafted to the Pelicans, top 10 pick. They bring in Steven Adams. They obviously already had Zion. They had Derek Favors last season. He wasn't getting any minutes.
Okay,
You're telling me he couldn't have developed by playing actual basketball in the G League rather than just sitting on the bench and watching the game? Like,
first of all,
there's a difference from playing and just sitting on the bench. Like, yeah, you're in the NBA. You're literally in the NBA, but I would much rather think I would assume coaching staffs would want their players to get actual minutes playing basketball.
okay, so the thing about this, like the players you named specifically, this goes back to my argument before. These were not good draft picks. I said it since day one. Jackson Hayes is not good.
Is he not good, or is he just in a situation where he
No, he's
can't
not
showcase
good, bro.
his skills?
Otherwise, he
Is
would have gotten playing
Onyeka
minutes.
Okongwu not a good player, or is he just not in a situation? That's what I'm saying. Like,
No,
we're
okay. Why isn't he coming
criticizing-
off the bench though? You
we're-
named 2 starters. He could still come off the bench like LaMelo Ball.
we're criticizing these players for like
Somebody might be
things
right
that
with that.
There's a reason that they're not playing.
we're
Well, okay,
criticizing
no.
these players.
Jackson Hayes, and Onyeka Okongwu are different because I think Jackson Hayes might be a bum. Like, he's just one of those big men who are just athletic and have no game. Like, he might be a bum. But Onyeka Okongwu, I know that guy is nice. I know he's nice, but I do have to agree with Toby. Like, he could just come off the bench. Like, just because he's just because he's a young guy doesn't mean he's got to start. But like,
It's because he plays on a team that has pieces like at every position already, like solidified with veterans. So he's not in a situation.
who are like their 2 backup big men? Do you know?
I mean, they play Gallinari a lot in the front court.
Yeah,
Play-
that's probably why. I didn't know they had Gallinari.
I mean, obviously, all right, let me just look up their depth chart because I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But I mean, there's also like another, group of players who are taken like late in the first round. Like, for example, a player from UNC, Nasir Little. He was like, I remember watching. I'm pretty sure he played with Kobe White on that team when they were both freshmen, and he came off the bench. He didn't even start for UNC, and everyone was saying like, this guy is going to be a steal of the draft. And then the Portland Trailblazers took him, and he just doesn't play now because he plays behind like Dame, CJ, Gary Trent, and that Anthony Simons. Like, he just doesn't get any minutes because he's on a team with like, wouldn't you much rather just have your young guy playing in the G League than just riding the bench and getting garbage minutes at the end of like games? Like, I don't get that.
The perfect player who I think of like the one guy who I'm like, he should have went down to the G League is Kevin Porter Jr. when he was on the Cavs. Like, it's just they had like 3 other guys who are, within like a year or 2 of like, his age, like they're still young, that all play guard. Like Colin Sexton, Garland, and I think they had Dante Exum. Like, they just had 3 guards that are within 3 years of him. All like they're all playing the same position. He should have went down to the G League to prove that maybe he's better than one of them and they should move him up. And my boy Dennis Smith Jr. actually requested to go down in the G League because he had no playing time.
I was going to bring that up.
I've been saying we got to get rid of some of these point guards on the Knicks. He might have just did us a solid by saying, yeah, send me down. Let's figure something out.
And like, not only that, like that's another thing. Like, if you're a young player who knows, like, that's a way to bet on yourself. Like, okay, put me in the G League and I'll showcase like what exactly I can do. Because if you're not going to give me the opportunity to do it, like I need an opportunity at least to show you that I'm still good enough. I don't know. I just think I'm not saying like we need to send like also when we're scouting players, you know, when media is scouting players coming out of college, they always like rank or, you know, pretty much like create a number that says, okay, is this player NBA ready? Like, for example, this past year, I think a lot of people would have said Tyrese Halliburton was like more NBA ready than like Killian Hayes. But Killian Hayes still got drafted higher than Halliburton because probably his potential, they probably valued his potential a little bit more. But like, I don't understand why we do that. Like, we know who is NBA ready and who isn't. But then when they get to the league, we criticize them for not being NBA ready. I'm like, you guys were just saying this guy is not ready for the league. And then now he's like a bust because he doesn't like explode in the first 5 games of his career. It's just stupid. I don't know.
Well, that's just because everybody is, nobody really has
There's just no patience.
NBA knowledge. Nobody knows. Yeah, and nobody's patient. Everybody
no
just thinks
patience in the league anymore for young players, and it's like kind of ridiculous. Like you gotta like
when you think about it, like, oh, who's that guy we were talking about last night, Jorie, on the Lakers? Horton Tucker. Who's that guy? What's his name?
Yeah, Talen Horton Tucker.
He is like 19 years old.
Yeah.
He still has like 7 or 8 years before he even hits the beginning of his prime. Like people now think like just because 1 or 2 players like Luka or Trey go off in like their first 2 years in the league doesn't mean every guy is going to be putting up a triple double 3 years into the league. Like
exactly. Like there's outliers obviously where you know, like you said, like a Luka, like a Trae Young, like a Zion, like a Ja Morant that are just gonna because they were drafted to be that. But not every player that's taken in the lottery is gonna be a superstar in 2 seasons. Like that's not how that works. It's just so annoying how people
just like my boy RJ. Everybody give him time. RJ's going to be the next T-Mac before we know it.
I feel like that's probably where I'm coming from in this.
RJ, by the time RJ is 26, 27 years old, he's going to be nice. He'll be a top 5 player in the league.
And that's another thing. Like even like people like RJ, I mean, I feel like that's not like so. I mean, I could go back to the Nuggets, like Jamal Murray or like someone like that, or Donovan Mitchell. Even like people criticize them as if they're like in their prime, when in reality they're like 23 years old and like they still have like plenty of time to grow as a player. Like just because they've been in the league for a number of years doesn't mean they can't get better.
Just because, I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he had a great rookie year, so like. That's just kind of set him up to be like, if he ever plays worse than his rookie year, he's not good. Like,
and I think another thing is like we look at statistics in terms of like you said that thing about Ben Simmons, Justin. Like, yeah, his numbers went down, but like I don't know, his on the court impact is still felt the same, if not more, ever since his rookie season. Like, we're gonna do the same thing with Luka. Like Luka nearly averaged like a 28-point triple double his second season. That could easily be his best like statistical season of his career, but like that doesn't mean he's not going to be like a better player, like just in terms of, you know, on the court impact, you know? Like
I mean, I just hate how the media hypes up all these young guys. Like, imagine ever saying about anybody else in their second season, oh yeah, he's going to be one of the all-time greats. In his second season, they were saying Luka is going to surpass like he's going to be like a top 5 all-time player. Like, no.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy, but
it might be true, but you can't say that at this point.
He's got a ways to go. But he did have one of like the best age 20 seasons ever.
But so still,
it's pretty crazy. It is crazy to think about how like young these players. It is you do have to give them credit for when they do go off and they're like when they're so young, because it's just
Zach LaVine is like the perfect player I think of, where it's like you just got to give him time. That guy was trash his first 3 years in the league, and I mean even his last year when before he got injured before he tore his ACL, I think it was. he was starting to develop. Like I think he was averaging like 18 or something a game before he got injured.
Yeah.
And it just took him a couple years. He pieced everything together, and now he's playing like I think he should be an all-star, but I also think he might get snubbed. So I don't know.
And like it's okay to have a season where you kind of regress a little bit before you like. Sometimes you have to take a step back before you can take 2 steps forward. Like that's literally what happened to Jaylen Brown. Like he was I think after his rookie season, he like doubled his scoring total, and then his third season he like regressed a little bit, and everyone's like, oh well, we knew he wasn't going to be good, and then look at him now. He literally is nearly averaging like 30 a game. So it's just I don't know. You have to really give him time. But one of the last things I put on here in terms of NBA draft prospects, I mean, yeah. Do you guys have any NBA draft prospects that you've been watching in terms of the 2021 draft that you are excited to watch or see in the NBA? Because obviously I mentioned a few, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, but is there anyone else that you
But I want to hear what Toby has to say. He's probably going to have an interesting pick.
So not really interesting because Jorie already said his name. But two guys that I'm excited for most. Cameron Thomas, LSU. He's just a scoring machine. He's a bucket. He's 6'4". Smooth jumper. He's gonna be. I'm trying to think of a player that reminds me the most of him. Honestly, Manuel Quickly on the Knicks. He kind of they kind of have similar playing styles, and we already see what Quickly is doing with his time on the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. Where is he? Is that him right there?
Yeah. It is. He was another player I was high on before last year's draft. But the player I'm most excited for is Jonathan Kuminga in the G League.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. He's 6'8", 210. He's got one of the best mid-range jump shots I've seen in a minute. He has it all. He has muscle. He'll cross you over. He's gonna be different, and not to mention he also has a huge defensive presence. Him playing in the G League with former NBA players and also other players who are hungry to get back into the league, I think that's only gonna make him so much better.
So now you think it's a good idea when they haven't gotten drafted, but when they get drafted, that means they can't go to the.
No, like
exactly.
You guys are missing my point. If I'm drafting you, I expect you to be a team contributor, especially if you're a top 10 pick. If I draft you and you're a top 10 pick and you have to be sent down to the G League, that's not a good pick. Dennis Smith Jr.
Well, it's like Justin said, it's situational. Like there are teams, because we see trades all the time where, like the Rockets, in theory, they could be like a playoff team in a few years and still have like lottery picks because of what could happen with the Nets. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying like that could happen.
When you're in that situation,
that's what happened with the Nuggets. When they got Michael Porter Jr., like they didn't need him to play right away. Like, yeah, you're saying that because he's a lottery pick, he needs to be able to contribute right away. But like, he literally didn't have to because he was on a good team.
He was also injured too.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm just saying, like there are teams in the lottery that don't necessarily need their players to be like superstars right away.
All right, but especially if you're like a shitty team.
Yeah, I gotta agree with them with that. But, trash teams need to draft somebody who can impact them right away.
Yeah, I hope Kuminga can go to a nice team.
He's probably gonna go top 5. Dude, I don't know. I feel like I need to watch him more. Let's certainly watch a lot of
Jalen Green are like a
duo. Jalen Green, yeah, he'll probably be a top 5 pick. Jalen Green will probably be top 5.
Jalen Green will probably be top 3.
Too bad he's not even the best Jalen in the draft.
Who is?
Jalen Suggs.
Ooh, no.
Better than Jalen Green. Yes, he is. I didn't even realize this, Justin. But the Knicks have the Mavericks first round pick this year because of the Kristaps trade.
Well,
And the Mavericks
I thought that pick
not
was going to
good.
be trash, but that pick might be
That's what I'm
nice
saying.
because
Like
the Mavericks.
this is it all worked out because the Mavericks are not doing very good this year. So that could be a pretty good pick.
Well, speaking of that, my one guy who I was very excited for, but now I'm kind of not because the Knicks started to do good, so it looks like we're not going to be able to get him. But Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State, I just, I liked him because everybody was saying the Knicks are going to try and draft Cade Cunningham, so I was like, all right, nice. So I just started watching him. And then my boy, who I've been following since he was in high school, he's a dog. Sharif Cooper of Auburn.
I like him. I honestly like him a lot.
Baby Westbrook. He's baby Westbrook.
He's just like so steady. He's just like a good point guard. Like he's like he's nice.
What the? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know a lot about these guys because I don't watch college basketball. I don't really know any of them.
Kuminga. Just watch Kuminga highlights and you'll understand why.
I mean, I know he's nice. I've seen stuff about Jonathan Kuminga. But yeah, I mean, outside of these four guys that we've said so far, I like Jorie. You said the guy who you have on your thing is James Bouknight. I have no clue who that is.
James Bouknight, man. I think he got injured. I don't remember the injury exactly what it was. Elbow injury. He's on UConn, by the way. He's a bucket getter. Simple. He's going to be dirty. He reminds me a lot of, we were talking about Zach LaVine. He kind of reminds me of him in terms of his like athleticism and his just scoring ability. Like he can literally score from anywhere on the floor. He's
What position
nice.
does
Like
he
he's
play?
a pretty
He's a guard?
solid playmaker. He's probably a shooting guard in the NBA. He's like 6'5", and he had like 40 against Creighton, which is one of the best teams in the country this year. Like he's just, I mean, I think his game is going to translate really well to the NBA. He's probably going to be a lottery pick. I like him a lot. I just love the Big East guys. I love watching them because they're all like so underrated. He's going to be nice.
If we're on this topic, I know this wasn't at all in the rundown, but do you guys want to talk about rookies this year who may or may not be playing up to expectations?
Yeah, we can do that.
That guy, Patrick Williams, I think, on the Bulls, haven't heard a thing about that guy.
I think he's been pretty solid, I think. I just don't know if we've heard anything from him, but I'm pretty sure he's been doing pretty good.
I don't even remember who. Oh, okay, never mind. This was the draft with Melo and the other guy, Anthony Edwards. Tyrese Maxey, that guy might be the steal of the draft. Him or Emmanuel Quickly, steal of the draft right there. Obi, that guy sucks. He's not even averaging 5 a game. I hate him. I hate Obi. What terrible draft pick.
You just said give players more time.
Okay, but you can't. You can't with your own team. With your own team, you need your guys to be a dog immediately.
Oh my gosh.
I really thought Obi was going to be like the next Blake Griffin. I really did think he was going to be the next Blake
Griffin. He literally can be. He just needs to play. He's played like 10 games.
Oh, don't get it.
Yeah, you need to slow your roll there.
Well, do you remember the players that we said were going to be like steals of the draft? Like later round picks? I remember my guy.
I think I remember who I said.
My paper somewhere around.
But I don't think he's doing that good. I think I said a few players.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, no, Desmond Bane.
Yep.
He's been a really good contributor for the Grizzlies so far.
I knew his game was going to translate well. I mean, he's just a knockdown 3-point shooter.
3-and-D kind of guy.
Exactly. Like that translates so well to the NBA. Him and Xavier Tillman on the Grizzlies. Cole Anthony, shout out Cole Anthony. Ever since Markelle went down with the injury, he's been starting, I think, for the Magic. So shout out Cole Anthony.
Playing well because you were really high on him.
Nah.
I like him. I mean, he's averaging 10.6 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 3.6 assists this season.
Solid. They're solid rookie numbers. It's not terrible.
Not bad.
And I mean, the Magic aren't even like that bad of a team.
He's only going to get better, man.
Magic also have the most underrated center in the league.
Vucevic is not that nice.
Vucevic.
He's overrated.
Overrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, he's overrated. He's not that good.
But Halliburton, he might be honestly the rookie of the year.
Yeah, I can see that. He's playing great.
Really might be.
Nah, it's not him. It's LaMelo. What are we saying?
It's LaMelo's like been pretty inconsistent. I feel like what happens, like LaMelo's good games always get coverage, and then when he has like
bro, he's
4 points.
Nice.
Nah, Jorie's right though.
Nobody talks about it.
Okay,
when
but
Halliburton gets like 10, 7, and 6, nobody says a word.
That's cap. That is cap.
Are you kidding me?
Because Halliburton, I remember specifically there was one game he had 12 points and he hit like 4 threes or whatever. And everybody was like, oh my God, this is the steal of the draft.
He had like that happened like one time. That literally happened like one time.
LaMelo, like he'll have a bad game, but his bad games
and
still
nobody says it.
Not that bad.
Okay, but his good games are better than Tyrese Halliburton's good games.
Yeah, yesterday he dropped like 27, 6, and 5.
I'm not saying LaMelo doesn't have good games. I'm just saying like I feel like he gets covered more.
No, he's right. Yeah, he's right. As soon as he has a bad game, all the media is just like, nope.
Well, then again, it is the Hornets, so like.
Yeah, I get it. I'm actually watching this Wizards Nets game right now. Denny Avdija, haven't heard nothing about him. I mean, probably because he's on the.
I think he's been hurt.
I mean, he's playing right now.
I think he's been hurt though. I think for some games, or I don't remember if it was an injury or COVID.
I was excited about him too. I thought he was gonna be good.
That was the coldest take in history, Toby. You said these Wizards were gonna be a playoff team.
Well, so did Jorie.
I was the only guy who said they weren't because I know what I'm talking about.
Nah, nobody could.
Just like how I said that Embiid is gonna be MVP.
Okay, well, listen, like they were supposed to be good. Okay, Westbrook, Beal, Rui.
I don't know.
He's not.
The more I think about it, like I'm just like, why did I think that this team was gonna be that good? Because like,
I know why.
Foster was not that good. Like, for being honest.
Nah, people just hate on Westbrook.
And don't forget Thomas Bryant. I think
he got hurt.
I don't know what's
his ACL.
He wasn't like he was not bad. Like he's a.
See, imagine if they had Onyeka.
Literally.
I mean, obviously they drafted Abdia, but imagine if they had Onyeka Okongwu instead of any of the.
Imagine if the Knicks drafted Maxey.
Literally, I mean, Emmanuel Quickley's been playing well, so I don't even care.
Yeah.
And James Wiseman. I know that's probably like the highlight of the draft, but like James Wiseman has exceeded my expectations.
Mm-hmm. He exceeded my expectations, and I said,
think he was going to be good. I really didn't. I just thought he was just me like a Hassan Whiteside overrated center, but he's like doing everything. Like he's really glitchy. He can dribble, shoot, and he's learning from some of the best players in the league. Like he's in such a good situation. That's going to help him so much. Yeah. All right. Is that it? Is that everything?
Yeah.
You guys got anything else you want to say?
No, sir.
I think Edwards is better than James Wiseman, but
really?
I don't know.
I think I'd have to disagree. At the moment, I think James Wiseman might be a better player.
Well,
But we can all agree that LaMelo is the best player out of this draft.
I think LaMelo's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Could be.
He will.
Maybe. He'll probably be all rookie first team, like for sure. I don't know. I think it's between him and Halliburton, and then Wiseman will probably get some votes.
Who won Rookie of the Year when Lonzo was a rookie?
Wow.
Wasn't it Brogdon?
2017.
No,
Right?
that was the year before.
Wait.
Brogdon was Rookie of the Year before. Or like 2 years before.
No, bro, he was Rookie of the Year 2017.
But he
Wait.
2018.
It was
Lonzo was drafted 2018.
No, he was drafted in 2017, right? I think it was Ben Simmons, right? Wasn't it the Ben Simmons year?
That was the year before. That was with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. Because everybody was like, give it to Donovan Mitchell, but then they gave
was
it to
Malcolm
Ben
Brogdon.
Simmons.
Wait. 20.
Just look
If
up
he was-
what
It was
year he
Malcolm Brogdon.
drafted.
It was Malcolm Brogdon.
I can't believe that. There's no way it was Malcolm.
No,
Brogdon.
it was Ben Simmons because Lonzo was drafted in 2017, so that means his rookie season would have been the 2017-18 season.
All right. Malcolm Brogdon won 2017 Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, it was. No, but that means
That's what happened.
That was the year before.
Ben
That
Simmons
was the year
the
before.
rookie of the year during Lonzo's rookie year because Lonzo and Donovan Mitchell were rookies the same year. They were in the same draft.
They were?
Wait.
Nah, there's no way.
No, they weren't,
The
bro.
2017 NBA draft. Look it up. They were literally rookies the same year.
Okay.
It was the same year Jason Tatum got drafted.
And Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year.
That's not what happened.
No.
It was the year. That was the year before. I'm telling you.
2017.
I know he won a Rookie of the Year. I'm saying that wasn't that year. It was Ben Simmons in 2018. Lonzo's first year in the NBA was the 2017-18 season.
Yeah. Because I remember that was when Ben Simmons was like in his second year, technically, and everybody was like, he's not a rookie, even though he was.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to
Ew, Frank Ntilikina got drafted that year.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy draft.
Drafted them at 8.
Lonzo, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, Bam, Jared Allen, OG Anunoby, Kyle Kuzma,
John Collins.
Dylan Brooks. Like, this is a nice little draft.
It was all right. Dwayne Bacon got drafted. Damian Dotson.
Dwayne Bacon had a low-key beef with D'Angelo Russell
Why?
because
Monte Morris, the steal of the draft. Oh, yeah. 51 that year.
Wait, why? What were you saying, Toby?
because the Timberwolves were playing the Magic and somebody on the Timberwolves was like, watch the screen. And then D'Lo was like, they're not running shit for him. And then after the game, the Magic won. And then Dwayne Bacon posted on his story, or not his story, he posted on his Instagram. And he was like, snitches never win. And he put a picture next to him, next to D'Lo.
Oh, my gosh.
Damn. PJ Washington. Dude, that Hornets team is nice, Toby. That Hornets team is
It
nice.
really is. Martin twins.
I mean, they suck. I don't care about them. But I was telling this to Jorie last night, but he didn't want to agree. LaMelo to Miles Bridges, the most exciting duo in the league. The most exciting duo in the league.
I agree.
What?
It's like
What are you
every
saying?
time the Hornets play, I get a Bleacher Report notification saying LaMelo to Bridges again. It's crazy lob every time.
There's
they
like
play.
half court lobs, and then what's his face puts his whole head up to the rim and just jams it.
Oh, my goodness.
I wish that team was good.
They're not bad. They have the same record as the Knicks. I think they're 9-11.
I know. I need them to make the playoffs though, because I predicted them. So, and everybody was clowning me. So
Yeah, I was clowning you, but
We'll see. We shall see.
Actually, the Hornets just moved the Knicks out of the playoffs.
Damn.
For real?
Yeah, the Knicks are 9-12, and the Hornets are 9-11.
Don't forget, it's 10 playoff spots.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Playing
Sure, not.
tournament. Playing tournament. All right. Is that it? Is that all you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we're all good to go.
Toronto Raptors suck.
Damn.
Yeah.
Time for the rebuild.
Yeah.
Trade Lowry. Like I said,
Yeah.
to the Clippers.
Not to the Clippers, to the Knicks.
No.
We can
Imagine we trade for Lowry and Zach LaVine.
That'd be an L.
Nah.
be giving up too much.
We
We can
can
talk
give
about it
up.
on the next show.
Yeah.
Talk about. We'll figure it out. There's a bunch of news that'll come up for sure. But follow us on the socials, and yeah.
Thanks for watching episode 7.
You already know what it is. You already know the vibes.